Good morning. So today, driving, I listened to an interesting podcast that I hadn't heard before. My name's Stephen West, philosophized this, and he was talking about a philosopher by the name of Erich Fromm, who had some really interesting ideas about the central problem of being humans and how people tried to solve it. So he said that the central problem of being humans is that we are separate, and that the crushing weight of individuality is something the problem we are trying to solve, to lose some of that separateness and feel part of a community, which kind of makes sense because, we did evolve to be social animals. The reason that humans are so successful in various environments is because they are able to work together and divide labor in a sensible way. The law of comparative advantage from economics says that, even if I'm good at making baskets and you're good at making baskets, if you're significantly better at making baskets, then I should just let you make all the baskets and find something that I'm good at and find some way to exchange to get your superior basket making skills, take the value from that. And we do it in a number of situations in life, but the current online world, the mobile phones, the social media have even more made us individuals and separate from each other in very real ways. We are not connected. Their interactions, a lot of them are controlled by companies and algorithms that we don't understand. I just finished reading the story of Instagram, a book called No Filter by Sarah Friar, which was very good, and it kind of highlighted Mark Zuckerberg's single-minded devotion to getting you to spend as much time on Facebook as possible for advertising revenue. Not really caring so much about the effect that it had on people, but trying to maximize that particular metric, along with a number of other metrics. But human well-being, individual well-being, not really among them. So back to Erich Fromm. So West today in his podcast, and I'll put a link to it below, was talking about Fromm's book, The Escape from Freedom, which sort of outlines the ways in which people try and deal with this individuality, that they can become sadomasochists, hitch themselves to a belief system that crushes their individuality, but allows them to also crush other individualities. And to be something of a pessimist, of course, I immediately think of the current pandemic and the people who advocate us giving up freedom for this supposed security that government is going to protect us collectively from the virus that we don't really understand that well. And there's a lot of charlatans in government and in industry, injecting Lysol, like the former president of the United States previously said. Just dumb stuff out there. I read a recent article in Nature about how people are still really prioritizing cleaning off surfaces, but there's good evidence that the virus is just airborne, that it's not. It doesn't make any sense to clean off surfaces. So we're wasting a lot of resources on that. And then, of course, there's the comparison of American states where they have mask mandates versus the states where they don't have mask mandates. And the infection curves look remarkably similar. So, does the mask mandate really help? If you compare Florida and California, Florida should be much worse off than California if there is like a real benefit to a mask mandate. Because California's had one for a long time, and Florida has a much older population too, and has not. And yet their infection curves look strikingly similar. But the outward display that mask wearing presents, I can identify people who are in the in-group of this cult of the pandemic, as it were. If you have a mask on and you're out in public, then I know you're one of us, not one of them. And it's a scary part of our species. I worry that people are overwhelmed by all the freedom that the internet has brought them, and they're reacting much the way they did in earlier periods in history, like the 1930s, early part of the 20th century. And in the 19 teens before that, when they embraced ideologies that promised them security instead of freedom, because freedom can be scary if you don't know what you're going to do, which is also one of the things that Erich Fromm talked about in his book, apparently, which I really want to read now, having heard Stephen West talk about it. But maybe Stephen West is just a good podcaster. It could be a really thick book with just some kernels of wisdom in it. Sometimes that happens. And some of those old German books can be fairly dry as well. But sometimes not. Sometimes they can be interesting. Yeah. That's about all I have to say about that this morning. Hope your winter morning is as beautiful as mine.